health and mind. Like the physical urges mentioned above, there are natural mental urges as well. The main difference between physical and mental urges is that physical urges should never be created or resisted, but mental urges should always be resisted or addressed properly by evaluating the cause of it, and never created or encouraged. Tension, worry, grief, jealousy, greed, various desires, including that of sex, hatred, anxiety, fear, selfishness, etc., are significant physiological, psychological factors as they are causative factors for various diseases of both the body and the mind. One should look for their root cause and eliminate it from your life either with acceptance or, wherever possible, elimination of the problem. Conversely, a happy, pleasant mind, sense of satisfaction, gratitude for all, fulfillment of beneficial desires, forgiveness, etc., are good factors according to Ayurveda, and maintaining them will help support a healthy life. There are two major causative factors responsible for psychological disturbances. 1. Not getting what is desired. 2. Getting something which is either not desired or even what is desired. The concepts of happiness and pleasure are different in different walks of life and at different stages of life. In childhood, becoming a pilot might be a dream of happiness. To own a home or a car might be a dream at a young age. One may set objectives according to desires and work to fulfill them. If we if everything goes smoothly, the target is met and satisfaction is gained. But if one does not have that capacity, if the situation is unfavorable, or if the time is improper, then one may fail, potentially leading to misery, loss of confidence, etc. Holistic thinking regarding the most effective strategies, understanding the situation thoroughly, and understanding one's own capacities are the need of the hour. We really do not have control over any situation, so changing our attitude to look at it is the biggest key to accept the situation. Proper steps taken in a systematic manner lead one to success and happiness. We have already discussed about the Sadvrita guidelines of good conduct described in Ayurveda to support psychological health and help the person to strive for ultimate pleasure or salvation. These rules for good conduct are also very useful in creating happiness in our day-to-day lives. One should follow them to remain healthy at mental and spiritual levels as well. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas are the qualities of mind. They are unavoidable and we all have all three. The challenge of living well is to emphasize Sattva over the other two. Rajas, mental agitation, and Tamas, mental darkness, are referred to as dosha of mind by the sages because they are the cause of disease. Sattva is said to be light, laghu, and illuminating. Prakashak. Rajas is responsible for actions in the form of a force, and tamas, darkness, is like a covering, helping in stopping an action. All are required for various functions, with a harmony among them. The tamas and rajas have to be under control of sattva. If they become dominant, they give rise to various desires, eh, including that for pleasure, kama, anger, krodh, greed, lobha, confusion, moha, pride, mad, and jealousy, matsar. These are called the six enemies, Shadripu, and they need to be conquered. One has to learn to use them in a positive way. For example, desire, kama, by itself is not bad and as such is a requirement for the progress of any person. The only requirement is to fulfill it in an ethical way. If it cannot be satisfied immediately, think of proper ways to satisfy it and proceed in that direction. This brings out overall development of the person in a healthy direction. But if it becomes uncontrolled or the desire itself is unethical, that leads to disaster due to unethical behavior. Seduction of a married person as a result of uncontrolled desire of an unethical nature results in disturbance of the whole society. But a desire to help needy people arising out of compassion and gratitude uplifts the society to a great extent. In the same manner, even anger, krodha, can be used in a positive manner for progress. Most social revolutions are outcomes of the anger about certain rules or customs, etc. But if anger is not controlled, it can lead to quarrels, insults, physical abuse, misunderstandings, insanity, and even to heart attacks. So it is wise to keep anger under control, as it is our own and we should govern it and not be governed by it. Greed, lobha, is an excess desire to possess something, especially money or wealth, which leads to unethical ways of achieving it. A desire to become wealthy in proper ways is good and is required as an inspiration for living. But when it becomes greed, it is harmful, not only to the person but to the society. A better way is to be satisfied with whatever we have compared to those who have even less and still make efforts to achieve more in ethical ways. This sometimes gives rise to confusion, moha. We see many honest people struggling to succeed in life and failing, whereas dishonest people use unethical ways and get rich with no obstacles. This creates confusion about the values we should hold. Indian philosophy believes in reincarnation and that one has to pay for deeds either in his lifetime or in the next lifetime. This idea helps avoid confusion regarding the proper path. Though it may be difficult, it brings real happiness in the end and also satisfaction. So one should have clear thoughts about the path. Wealth, knowledge, power, etc. can lead a person to a feeling of superiority, which creates pride, mother, out of egoism. It is easy to understand why people who are extraordinary can develop egoism. This leads to improper behavior with others misunderstandings, insults, etc. One who understands that his achievements are nothing does not have an ego at all. Keep in mind that the universe is an ocean of knowledge, and by comparison, our knowledge is a small drop of water. Each drop is precious, but alone it is meaningless. Why should we boast of something so tiny? If you fall under the illusion of superiority, you may start to feel that what you understand is more important than what others know. You may feel you have learned enough, grow complacent, and stop working to understand knowledge and more deeply. The best thing is to cultivate humility and understand that our position as humans is to serve others and not our own egos. One has to think of proper use of his or her knowledge, wealth, etc. for those in need and instead of just boasting about it. One should not be jealous of things that other peoples have, but it is natural and beneficial to be desirous of the qualities of other people which have brought good results. Instead of envying others for getting ahead in life, you can work to develop qualities like regular study, hard work, interaction with teachers, etc., so that you can have the same benefits. Some philosophers call ego ahamkara as the root cause of all these enemies, mental weaknesses. When the ego takes over, our whole concentration is on self. That is why we fall prey to rajas and tamas and are influenced by them to do things that we would not do if we were clear minded. This is the cause of all sorts of sorrows, so one should control rajas and tamas in order to avoid the perils of stress, worry, grief, jealousy, greed, various desires, hatred, anxiety, fear, selfishness. When rajas and tamas are harnessed to the higher interest of sattva, we are more immune to the stresses of life and will be more successful in all that we do. Yoga and other spiritual or self development practices can help achieve this goal.